Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of this new year. Happy New Year, everyone,
Yay!
of For the Heart of the Dragon Queen. Good to see everybody. Love to see all your wonderful faces. It's been a couple weeks because last week was some other holiday, and so we took the day off. And why don't we do some introductions to remind everyone who we are, including me, because I'm a little frazzled today. So, Mika, why don't we start with you? Tell us who you are, where to find you on the interwebs, and who you're playing today.
Hi, I'm Mika. I do things. I'm a director-producer over on Roll D5, ROLE D5, and you can catch me over on Blue Sky at Goggleboy, or on Threads, Mika_Macintosh. And today, for your listening pleasure, I am playing Lemon Zest, who's just a little kobold, just a little guy, who's only part of the cult so that he can gain his inheritance. But lately, he has been very unhappy because he was forced out of being an artificer by Tiamat and being a warlock, and now he's trying to figure out, like, if he can safely break this pact or what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, and we're just gonna throw more information at him to see what his little heart can handle today. Who would you like to go next?
We'll do Mick.
Okay. I am playing Chris, the drow rogue who likes to steal things.
Awesome. Is there any place on the interwebs that you would like people to find you?
I'm Micktastic on Blue Sky, and also on Twitch.
Nice. And for today, last but not least, we are down one player, so for any of the introductions will be Adela. Tell us about yourself and who you're playing today.
Well, I am playing Aster, the nature cleric, who is involved with Tiamat only because of her family. She really just likes to putz around in a garden, enjoy her friendship with Willow, and hang out with these amazing adventurers.
Nice.
Other than that,
Excellent.
And I guess you can find me at Mountain Minks through Blue Sky.
Nice.
That's the new place.
And I am Jeremy. You can also find me on Blue Sky and all of the other socials at WH Pubs. Although I do have to ask, does anyone else ever look at it at the word and call it Blueski, like Brewski?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yes!
Absolutely.
Like, I have to pause my brain sometimes and just be like, Blue Sky, come on. Okay.
Happy day.
Right.
Blue Sky.
Awesome. Well, just a brief reintroduction to the game in this new year. You all are cultists in the Cult of the Dragon. You are working to bring, or you have been working to bring, Tiamat back from Avernus, where she is trapped. The Cult of the Dragon is feverishly working at pillaging the countryside, trying to build a hoard of treasure worthy of this ritual that will summon her back from the hells. And recently you've received some information that kind of throws some of that into a different light. Some of that information is personal, the way that you have been interacting with Tiamat as a warlock, for example, kind of having that thrust upon you, whereas some of you just kind of are here. You're really all here because you grew up in the cult. Your family, all of your family members were cultists. They are elsewhere in the world currently, also taking part in this endeavor. But the three of you have been kind of off on your own for a bit, and you've been learning new things, such as there are other dragons out there that have other agendas. And recently you found a scroll that was written in an ancient draconic language that even magic couldn't reveal to you. And so you've brought it here to a fortress within the volcano known as Sentinelspire. Once the the headquarters of an assassin's guild. It has been abandoned for a while. However, a small faction of other, I don't want to necessarily call them cultists, but I feel like Ashrin did kind of point it out last time that maybe they're just as culty as you all are, just in a different way.
Yeah.
But another cloister of dragon worshippers lives here and are able to translate the scroll for you. It revealed that not only is Tiamat maybe not the first goddess of dragons, but she likely murdered her sister, who was the first goddess of dragons. With that information, you had all retired to what appears to be some recently cleaned out servants' quarters or something. Kind of sits in the far side of this compound, which is in the caldera of this dormant volcano. On your trip in, Lemon Blossom, who is Lemon Zest's familiar, had been petrified. The apparent leader of this cloister, her name is Cheova. She appears to be a yellow-scaled half-dragon. She took Lemon Blossom with her upon leaving you here and said that she would return in the morning. There was a bit of an edge to this interaction as Ashrin and her kind of stared each other down. And then you're all left in this largely empty building. You notice that there is a certain, like, astringent smell to the air, kind of lemons and citrus, as well as vinegar, as though the area had been recently cleaned out. And you can see that there are some a table and some chairs that have been like scooted off to the side as though to move them out of the way while cleaning had been done. Not much prep had been done to make room for you here, and you've kind of been left to your own designs. Now, Aster, you were told that in the morning Cheova would return, and you had asked to see the gardens, and so she said she would find someone to walk you through that. What does everyone do?
Well, this is exciting. Aster definitely has some kind of like pen and paper, a little bit of a satchel, kind of like ready to go, foraging in the gardens. Very exciting, and just sitting there, just kind of looking around, not even bothering to do much, just sitting there, just, you know, like, is that the person? Is that the person that's going to bring me around? Is that the person?
Yeah, so you're kind of like watching out these windows, and I would actually like you to do the first roll of the new year. Go ahead and do a perception check for me.
Okay. Well, since Aster has been doing so well with perception these days,
I feel like it doesn't matter what you all roll, the dice treat you wonderfully.
Sure does.
Oh, wow. A nat 20
Oh.
for the first game of the year. I love it.
Wow.
I love it.
Yes, hot start.
Well, it can only go downhill from there. So,
yes. Peaking early, that's great.
Right. As you were sitting around and you're kind of watching out the windows, you do notice the sun's, disappeared and everything is kind of fallen into gloom. There are there are bits of light that you see interspersed throughout the area outside this building. However, you remember that most of the people you saw were blindfolded, and in the shadows beyond, you do notice shadows moving around, like as though they don't need light. So they don't really illuminate the fortress very much. you get the feeling that most of the lights that you see beyond are probably fireplaces and various areas that have been lit to keep warm rather than relying on the fire, for light. Not only that, you can hear, and it takes you a moment to realize what this is, but that natural 20, that was amazing. And so as you were led from the domed building where Cheova did the translation and kind of talked to you about this other dragon goddess that had existed far back in time, when you were moving over here, you could see that there are like just plants everywhere growing over buildings, completely overcoming some of the areas. And while it was getting dark and hard to see, you could see that it was like just wild growth. And as you were sitting there, you can hear the growing of these plants. Like, there's vines and such that are kind of creeping across the roof, and you're listening and you can hear them. It's not like a constant shuffling, but there is like just every so often like an ominous creak, and then like something like scuffs across the ceiling, and like you kind of glance out and you look up and you see like vines just slowly moving, but they're growing much faster than typical plants do.
That is amazing and happy and healthy. I'm gonna, if I'm sitting by the crew, just kind of like flail out my arm and hit, Chris or Lemon and just be like, did you hear that? The plants. They're like the happiest plants ever. This is amazing. We should call for Willow. We should get Willow over here. She would love this. And then just kind of sit there and like listen.
I can't hear plants. I don't know if you know this about me or not, but I can't.
But the movement. Surely you can hear the movement of the plants.
What's your passive perception?
12.
12. Every so often you hear like the house shift, like the building kind of creaks. It could be like everything's cooling off a bit from having been in the sun. The night is much
Rolling.
cooler than the day was.
Oh, I rolled a 21.
Perfect. After she points it out, you kind of are listening, and there's not only the sound of the house creaking, but you can hear this like kind of, it's not squelch. It's not a squelch. It's this strange noise that you never quite heard before, as these plants are essentially, like elongating rapidly as opposed to the typical growth patterns. And you look out and you too can see like vines kind of moving around. They're not like consuming the building, but they seem to be like weaving through themselves in this interesting pattern.
Yeah, this is weird.
Mick, what is Chris up to?
I think I'm going to be listening to see if I hear anything.
Sure.
That's
Go ahead and
going
make a
on.
perception check.
Let's see.
You're just counting up from here. So we started with nat 20, but it was only 20. Then we went to 21. Now Chris is 22. Chris, as you're listening, you definitely can hear what they're talking about. And every so often you hear like a shift of like a larger mass on the roof, kind of like rolling around. It's not like a super active noise, but it is very persistent, almost like a larger plant body is growing on the roof and its weight is kind of shifting itself around.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, you don't... maybe in the distance every so often you would hear some voices of people walking by, but you don't hear anything alarming otherwise.
Okay.
Ashvin seems thoughtful as she's kind of listening to all of this as well. And she just kind of throws up her hands and says, you know, I'm just spent for the day. I'm going to bed. And she wanders out and is kind of looking around the rest of the area, and she finds these small bed chambers and chooses one to settle down in. What do you all do?
I'm gonna summon a new lemon zest.
Okay. You mean only new lemon
So,
blossom?
Lemon blossom, yeah, sorry. So I'm gonna
Okay.
just yeah. Next hour, just ritual cast.
Okay. What are you summoning?
Another pseudo dragon.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just wait, there's a new lemon blossom token, isn't there?
Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, right there. That's the new token. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
What about the rest of you suckers, huh?
Oh man. Well, I think Aster is probably going to sit down and just kind of really enjoy and try and because she can ritual cast as well, but I think this time around with no point, really just kind of feel at one with the creatures, the plants at this point.
Sure.
So she's just going to kind of set up shop and listen to the plants and just see what she can feel out from it.
Totally. Yeah, as you kind of zen out and listen to the plants, there are smells that waft in through the window with light breezes. Some that are familiar to you, various vines and stuff that you've seen before, but also new things that are familiar but strange enough to be different. Tomorrow should be very interesting as you get to explore these things in the light and see what new species of plants you can find. It is definitely weird that these plants are growing so fast. I believe you all did history checks before as far as Sentinelspire goes and didn't really get anything, but if you would like to, go ahead and roll history again as you now are kind of taking time to hang out here.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
I feel like that's
and
about
here we are again.
Yeah, it's about where you were last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a 6 for Aster and a 9 for Chris.
This is history. I have a +4, but I'm still nervous.
We started out so strong.
14.
14. Okay.
Okay.
This is on the opposite end of the continent from where you all grew up and is pretty far as lanes for news to travel for local things that happened here. It just probably not so much. So yeah, should be interesting what tomorrow brings. Some hours pass, a new lemon blossom bloop, into existence, comes over and sniffs you, curls up around your ankle, goes directly
I'm
to
surprised
sleep.
it's not mad at me for getting turned to stone.
I mean,
I like the
This-
idea that it's the same lemon blossom.
I feel like maybe this one, that one is locked in stone currently. So,
But because it would cease to exist because I summoned another familiar.
why you gotta
So-
ruin all my fun?
Hey, you're the DM. It's up to you.
Somewhere, Sheova has spent like hours pouring magic into undoing this for you, and then it just disappears. And she's like, well.
It crumbles.
And she says the draconic word for fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone doing
Cool.
anything else?
New lemon blossom. Hey, lemon blossom. Is it the evening? What time of day is it? Has it
It's
been the
nighttime.
new day yet? It's
Yes.
nighttime.
You have yet to rest.
Gorsh. I'm unsure. I guess there's not much lemon zest can do. Honestly, at this point, like we've just taken in all this information. I got my new lemon blossom. Just gonna have lemon blossom keep watch while I grumpily fall asleep.
Okay. Are you going into one of the rooms, or are you going to stay in like one of the rooms that seem to be like living quarters, or are you going to stay in this common room?
I'm gonna go to a room.
Okay. What is Chris up to?
I'm just kind of vibing, I guess.
Okay. Are you going to stay out here in the common room, or are you going to also choose a room?
I will choose a room.
And what about Aster?
I think this one looks good.
I think I'll choose a room as well.
Okay. As the night progresses and you all decide to call it good for the day, you do walk down this small hallway that leads to the living quarters, and for a moment you think you can hear someone speaking Draconic, and then you realize that Ashran is just snoring. Not super loudly, but loudly enough that it carries through the walls.
That's amazing. I think Astra will wake
Classic.
up and just kind of laugh to herself, like a little ha ha cackle, and then like, oh, that's so silly, and then go back to bed.
Perfect. Everyone go ahead and make perception checks for me at disadvantage.
I'm not perceiving very much.
Love it.
Ooh,
Okay. 2 8s
Yeah,
and a 3. And then
is
Mika,
a natty 1 for 3.
right? Mika, can you do a perception check for Lemon Blossom? Not a disadvantage, because Lemon Blossom does not sleep.
Yeah. Here we go. Also lemon blossom. Perception is +3. So
Lemon Blossom's got this.
is hold on. That's a wisdom. Okay. Do that, but then add 2 to it. 8.
Oh,
That's a 6 + 2 for an 8.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like, gotta eke out every point.
everyone, climbs into the beds. They're not comfortable beds, but they're not necessarily uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Why can't I move Lemon Blossom? Lemon
I think
Blossom
Lemon
is
Blossom is
stuck.
just mad at me and not doing a good job keeping watch.
There we
Oh,
go.
you might put Lemon Blossom on the wrong layer.
Yeah, Lemon Blossom was on the map layer. Is Lemon Blossom hanging out in the common room then? Or are they in with you?
Lemon Blossom's in my room.
Okay. Let's bring this up so everyone else can see what the heck we're talking about. All right, so as everyone climbs into bed, they are clean. You can tell that the sheets have recently been replaced, but the beds themselves are maybe a little worn down. The mattresses have just like a slight smell of must and grime that have just coalesced over the years. But having not slept in comfortable beds for quite some time, these are amazing, and you all just kind of drift off into this deep, restful sleep that you weren't necessarily expecting. Even Chris, who really just trances out, you just get into this like mode where your mind's just like drifting off other places. And it's not until you hear some choked screaming that you all wake up. You can hear thumping, something thrashing around. For Lemon's Zest, it sounds very near, like something's beating against the wall next to your bed.
Oh, that must be Ashrin. If it's it's on the wall I share
It
with
seems to
Ashrin.
be, yeah.
Okay, Lemon Blossom, check that out. Lemon Blossom's gonna turn invisible and scurry on over to Ashrin's room.
Okay. Are you watching through Lemon Blossom's eyes, or are you waiting for Lemon Blossom? Okay. As your vision kind of doubles up and you are able to see as Lemon Blossom moves through this small corridor and then pushes open the door, looking in, there's this strange movement. Something large and viney and covered in weird leaves and mosses seems to be kind of laying over the bulk of the room. And you can only vaguely see bits of armor as Ashrin is trying to escape whatever it is. And with that, we're going to all roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Holy heck.
So if you can, go ahead and click on your token here in Roll20 and then roll your initiative.
Oh boy.
I got a 10.
Hooray!
You might need to add me there.
Lemon Zest has a 10. Chris got an 11. Aster with the 17. And let me roll for... Sorry, I gotta move this fellow out of the way. Ashrin. Got a 2. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So, of course, this creature already kind of engulfing Ashrin is just going to go first because the dice have chosen against you.
Of course, of course.
So it let's see. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's rough. Okay. Just roll some dice here real quick. Oh, fortunately I didn't roll terribly. or great, I guess I should say. 16 is my high. That is Ashran's armor class. So you can hear through Lemon Blossom's senses, you can hear like the squeaking of like armor, the metal grinding as she is being crushed.
I don't like this.
Yeah, this sounds bad. Where's Astrid? Like, have I?
Yeah, so so Aster, can you see the map?
I can see the map.
I guess can you see the house
Okay.
map that you were on?
I can see the house
Okay,
map.
cool.
I
Wanna
show
make
that I'm
sure.
still like in the room, but like, I guess.
So you're in like a
guess-
small living quarter across the hall from Ashran's. You hear this scuffle as you like jerk awake, and what do you do?
I mean, I feel like I'd be flying to the door and
Okay.
opening it up to see what's going on.
Yeah, like even
Which I would
peering
assume
across, you like open the door and you can see Lemon Blossom, first of all, sitting in the door, but there's like these writhing vines kind of like starting to grasp the door frame.
Actually, Lemon Blossom's invisible right now.
Never mind, you don't see Lemon
I wouldn't
Blossom
be able to see it.
whatsoever. Good call, thank you.
Okay. And I don't see Lemon Zest or Chris.
Nope. You
'cause
just see
they're still
this
in their rooms.
this
Okay.
dark doorway is open as these vines are kind of like gripping the edges, and beyond you would actually, so you should be able to see bits of Ashran, like her hand kind of sticking out, trying to like, it looks like she's trying to grab a weapon from her side or something.
All right. Because I like plants, I feel like, I will immediately start thinking like, oh my gosh, there's no way plants are so nice and wonderful. And I would like to try and communicate with the plants.
Okay.
And try and charm animal and plants.
Sure.
And while I'm also like screaming out to Chris and Lemon that like, hey, we're gonna need some help here.
So I believe he gets a wisdom saving throw, is that right?
Yes.
Oh,
Let's
geez.
see.
Well, so you weave your magic and you try to reach out in a friendly manner to this creature. Unfortunately, the 17 that I got, I know is going to overcome your DC. As you're watching it, like, it does seem to kind of like some of the vines grow a little bit. It seems to either be like out of control, like wild, or very hungry or something. As you're kind of watching it, it doesn't seem to really pay you much mind. When you said you're like, oh, I wanted this as a plant friend, I'm like, we're just gonna offer up Ashran to it. It can have
No way, Jose. Once I see that happens, that it doesn't work, I'm gonna be like, start knocking on doors.
Okay,
Everybody get out here.
So everyone hears Aster call out for help. That brings us to Chris's turn.
Okay. I will go and see what Aster needs.
As you head down the hall, you can see this open doorway. Aster is standing, looking into it. Just this look of disappointment and horror, I think, on her face as this plant has not listened and is obviously, as you glance over, attempting to consume your I feel like friend is maybe stretching it, your group companion, Ashran. So what do you do?
I guess I will pull out my short bow and make an attack.
Okay. So because go ahead and roll your attack. I need to double check.
Okay.
I don't believe you'll get sneak attack on it.
Right. Why is it?
Yeah. The 20 will hit, however, dealing 5. Yeah, 5 piercing.
Okay.
Your arrow sticks into one of the larger vines, and you can see just like green fluid kind of squirt out, and that vine writhes around. It kind of shifts, and you don't see eyes on it, but you get this sudden feeling that it has become aware of you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Lemon Zest. What do you do?
Okay. Tell me if you'll allow this. So, because I'm perceiving through Lemon Blossom, I am not necessarily casting through Lemon Blossom. I'm going to cast Summon Undead, and it's summoned within a space I can see, and since I can see through Lemon Blossom, I can cast it and have it already be in the room.
I'll let that happen. I love that. What kind of undead are you summoning?
So I'm going to summon. Oh, so what are my options? There's ghost, skeletal, or putrid. Ooh. Ooh, nope. That was not putrid because that would be bad for Ashrin. Should I do ghost or skeleton?
Do you want to roll for
I'm
it?
going to do ghost.
Ghost. Okay.
Yeah, all of a sudden you see a ghost of Lemon Zest pop up in the room. And then I am going to then for my bonus action go right up against the wall and then use Draconic Cry so everyone has advantage on their attacks against the Shambling Mound.
Nice.
Yeah, and then directly after that, I am going to have this thing makes number of attacks equal to half the spell's level rounded down. Oh, okay, so it's only one attack, but it's going to use its Deathly Touch. Woo! As spooky Lemon Zest of Christmas yet to come. Goes.
What's
and,
a Christmas?
Of Tiamat's Day yet to come, and it. Woo.
I love this
let's
so
see.
much. Like your
Give you a-
cries, like woo.
Right?
Oh, sorry, that was for damage. I didn't roll for attack. That would be good. My bad. What?
Dun 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 dun.
I get to modify to each one creature. It doesn't.
Should be your spell attack.
That's a crap. Oh. Okay. Oh, that's much better. That's 14.
So, even though it's in the room and you've kind of summoned on it, it reaches forward and just kind of brushes its ghostly hands over it and seems to miss.
Dang it. Okay. Yeah, that is all I can do on this turn.
Okay.
I do believe it does not have a bonus action. Nope. The end.
The end. Let's see.
And Lemon Blossom's probably like scurrying away.
Yeah, feel free to move.
By away, I mean like the roof. It's like on the roof, so
Gotcha.
I can still see through it.
So Ashran is desperately trying to reach some kind of weapon, and instead, once she realizes she can't, you hear some mumbling, Chris, and then she like kind of points, and a spiritual halberd will appear in the air, and is going to attempt to take a swing as she casts spiritual weapon. Oh, that doesn't roll. That's too bad. Alright, so she has a spell attack bonus of 6. A 23 will absolutely hit. And this does... she's going to cast it at... Oh, she can only cast it at 2nd level, so... 1d8. Force damage.
Nice.
D8 plus your spellcasting modifier, which is... Let me just double check here. 3. So 8 force damage. Huzzah! You hear this squelching noise as a large vine is like chopped off of it as the halberd stabs down. And then it comes back to... Oh, we were back to the top of the round. She needs to do a save. You hear Ashran cry out, and more... You can actually hear like the popping of her armor, kind of like bending.
Oof.
Not great. Not great.
No, I don't like that. Is this how we find out that Janelle's actually leaving the campaign?
I'll let her know. I'll let her know later. Just so you know, you left the campaign today.
But like, dead isn't dead sometimes, right?
Right.
Okay, just had to make sure that it couldn't do anything else. Aster, you can hear this. There's this wheezing noise as the air is like crushed out of Ashran. And what would you like to do?
I mean, plug in my computer for one, and then
Battery
Mick.
dead.
Mick, by
Oops.
the way, you have an advantage.
Okay.
Oh, I totally missed that. Thank you.
oh, huzzah!
Just so you all know, I
I-
also have an advantage. I haven't used it yet. I feel like I could use it for Ashran, though.
Do it.
Oh boy, you could, and maybe you should.
We'll see. Yeah, see how this goes.
I think Aster would like to run up because she's like, why? Like, this doesn't compute. These are plants. Like, this is ridiculous. And lay the hand of doom on the plant.
The 16
See?
will hit.
Huzzah. Or on a
Oh.
tentacle or a vine or...
It does 1 point of damage. Fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic. I love it.
so, that is fantastic. That's so good.
100%.
One.
Yikes.
One.
All right. Anything else?
I'm gonna just frustratingly scream at the branch and be like, you are supposed to be friend, not foe. What is this? This is ridiculous.
Plants are friends.
That's it.
All right, Chris. What do you do?
Okay, and you said I have advantage, right?
You have an advantage from chat. Yes. So if you want to use that, if you roll with it, you can use sneak attack. Just so you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll with it.
Nice.
Let's see. Yeah.
The 22 will absolutely hit, dealing 20 piercing damage. Awesome. It kind of shudders as your arrow pierces past what you can see. It's kind of like the outside. It's kind of writhing and moving around. There is apparently some kind of central mass to it, and it seems like you just dealt a good blow to it. Anything else?
That is all that I will do.
All right. Lemon Zest.
Oh boy. How flimsy do these walls look?
Not very flimsy at all. In fact, they're kind of they look like maybe reinforced wood is from what you were seeing. There's like plaster in here, but when you're out in the areas that were being worked on, yeah, definitely a little thicker.
So I'm dumb and have like only one spell with the range of touch, and those are the only spells I can cast through Lemon Zest.
Right.
So the door's crowded. I can't really do anything unless I just continue to crowd the door.
I mean, because you can move into another character's space and then out of it, you can like go up and like do something and then step back without.
Okay, then yeah, I'm gonna go right up there.
I mean, you can essentially
go
step into Chris's space,
Yeah,
shoot,
I'll
and
step
then
into
step
Chris's. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm going to do. If I have 2 Eldritch Blasts, because I'm level 5, so I get 2 beams.
Boo-boo!
Cacao. The first one is a natural 19,
Nice.
and the second one is an 18.
Both will hit.
Excellent. Let's do this damage. That's 11 and 5 for a total of 16. And then, oh, everyone, I forgot you have advantage. You had advantage on your attack against. So if someone missed, maybe the game will let you reroll. Because
You bet I can't reroll on the actual damage.
Right.
Darn it.
Right.
Yeah.
What do they have advantage from?
My Draconic Cry.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yep.
so I'm gonna
Question that
roll
sounds like
more Eldritch.
woman.
Yeah. What does your
What is
Hold
your
what does your Draconic Cry sound
Okay.
like?
It's surprisingly vicious. Like it sounds like an actual dragon momentarily,
Nice.
like a young adult
love
dragon.
I love it.
Lemon Zest is
so-
quite upset.
Lemon Zest is, and so he's going to use his bonus action to, because I don't want my familiar to get hurt, and it doesn't really do that much damage anyway. So yeah, so I'm going to use my bonus action to do another cry, so I'll continue to have advantage against it. So Chris can continue to do sneak attack. I'm going to move down here, and then and then it's going to be the ghost of Lemon Zest yet to come, who will be doing his little ghosty touch, going like blood, trying to scare it in a not very scary way. And please. Why are you... Oh, there we go. Gosh, that's a 15.
That's what you needed.
Yes!
You missed it
Oh.
by 1 last time.
Hoo-wee. Okay, summon undead. Now for the damage. It's going to... it doesn't really say what type of damage that is. That's 8 damage. Plus, now the Shambling Mound needs to
Necrotic.
make
It's necrotic damage.
Excellent. Now the Shambling Mound needs to succeed on a Wisdom saving throw of 14. Or be frightened
That is a
of
19.
me until its next turn. Dang it. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's my turn.
So it did 8 necrotic damage. Perfect. You notice as its hands, actually, you don't see this so much as Chris and Ashrin, maybe Aster can see a little bit, like bits of the green vines just kind of blacken and wither away from the ghost's touch. And then we come to Ashrin. Ashrin's going to once again attack with that halberd. You can hear her like yelling, but it's very difficult. It sounds like she's having a hard time breathing, and she's gonna miss this time. That was a terrible roll. Actually, I'm gonna use that advantage. Much better. 4d8 plus 3, and I rolled a 1, so it does 4. Get rid of my advantage. All right. So you've all done some damage to it. However, it does have dinner essentially just kind of wrapped up right now. And so it is going to just kind of squeeze. Oh, Ashrin. You can hear that crunching noise, and her wheezing is getting very quiet. Seems like she's having a hard time breathing. Aster, what do you do?
Oh boy. Well, since Aster's feeling super powerful these days.
What was that, Mika? You were muted.
You have advantage on your attack.
Yes. All right. Well, let's try some.
Oh, Ashrin would have had advantage on that attack. I'm taking my advantage back.
Oh, do it.
Sorry,
Do it.
Go ahead.
Let me think. I mean, I think I'd like to blast it with some Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flambe. Excellent.
Sacred Flambe.
It will
Let's
roll
see
a
where oh my
dex
good
save.
gravy.
So I have to roll a dex save. And it is not the most dexterous of creatures. It will fail and take your 5 radiant damage.
Huzzah! Something. That's something. Yes.
You can smell the... It's kind of like when you overcook spinach and there's that kind of... bleh, bleh. That
It's
smell
too
comes
crispy.
wafting out of the room.
Oh no.
Delicious.
Delicious. Anything else? I'm gonna make myself gag.
I'm just gonna yell in there like, just hang on there, Astrid. We're getting you. Don't worry, hang on a little longer.
Chris, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna shoot it with my short bow. And I have
Perfect.
advantage, right?
Do.
Yep.
Okay, so
So you can sneak attack the heck out of it.
Sneak attack the heck out of it. The 25 will definitely hit.
okay.
Or 16. Now that you know kind of where its solid center mass is, it's much easier to be like just dumping damage into it. Anything else?
Nope, that is all that I will do.
All right. Lemon Zest.
Okay. Let me check real quick to see if Lemon Blossom can actually do anything useful. No, not really. I can bite. Okay, yeah, I'm going to step back in, do 2 more Eldritch Blastoises. First roll, both get advantage. So that's a 25.
Roll again. Just make sure you
then-
don't crit.
Oh, that was...
Oh, I see. No, it
Yeah,
did.
no crits. Yeah. So
Both will
25
hit.
no 22 to
Yeah.
hit. 7 and 12 for damage.
19
And
total.
then-
Perfect.
It's the ghost's turn. Oh my gosh. This was just kind of a waste.
It's the
of a
spinach smell.
summon.
The ghost is even put off by it. It's like, oh,
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
And then, yeah, I guess that is. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna have my bonus action. Have Lemon Zest fly down and make an attack.
Okay.
A bite attack.
Nom 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 nom.
And then try and fly away after. Nope. Lemon Blossom gets kind of scared trying to bite, and then which, oh shoot, I don't know if it loses invisibility then.
It should, because it's just invisibility and not greater.
It can magically turn invisible until it attacks or until its concentration ends.
But
Yep.
you also didn't roll advantage. I'm just seeing a single roll.
Oh, excellent.
So, if you would like to roll again to see if you hit. Oh,
Nope, that's
even
even
worse.
worse.
Hmm.
All right,
Hmm.
cool. So now, wait, can Lemon Blossom? Oh, it might not have been invisible to begin with. Anyway, I'm going to look into this real quick. So my turn's over.
Okay. Ashrin is going to attempt to... Does Ashrin still have advantage?
No, not anymore.
Okay. Oh, that was terrible. Definitely misses. You can hear her kind of wheezing away. Oh, I just missed it. I'm going to use that advantage and roll even worse. You hear her take a big gasping gulp of air, and then it just gets squeezed out of her in this kind of wheezing scream or something as she goes unconscious.
Oh no!
Master, cast a healing spell.
Oh my gosh! I mean, yeah, that's gonna have to happen. When it's my turn.
It is your turn right now.
It is my turn. It is my turn. As Aster sits there and goes, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice to heal somebody?" No.
I wish I had learned my healing spells for the day.
Right. Let's see here. Now remind me again, healing words, do I have to touch the person?
You do not. They just have to be able
I
to
do
hear
not. All right. I am going to heal word, and let's see how this goes. 60 feet, healing of 2.
you. You hear a quiet gasp as Ashrin draws breath again. Anything
That's
else?
so helpful, that healing of 2.
It totally is.
That's really helpful. And then I throw a lozenge in there too.
Ping. Perfect.
I know you're about ready to die, but here, take this.
Right? Take some good flavor with you to the other side.
Oh my god. Okay, that's me.
All right, Chris, what do you do?
Alright, I'm gonna shoot again with my short bow.
And you don't have advantage this time, but because you didn't have to use your advantage from chat earlier, you could use it now if you wanted to get your sneak attack.
Yeah, let's do that.
And good thing, too, because the crit fail would have definitely missed, but the 19 will hit. You're going to do 23 points of damage. The thing's body is kind of shaking at this point. It's something you hadn't seen before, as it's kind of trying to, like, disattach itself from Asheron's body. Anything else?
That is all for me.
Lemon zest.
Okay, so it turns out it's only the imp version that can turn invisible. So lemon zest
It
has
was
not been
confused.
invisible. This
It was
is
confused for a
Lemon
moment there.
Blossom.
It thought it was
Yeah.
thought it was invisible.
So when I summon him again, it's going to be an imp, definitely. So yeah, just same old rinse, try, repeat.
Eldritch
Gonna
Blast.
jump in there. Yeah. Well, first I'm going to use my bonus action to give myself advantage. So like one last time, you hear one last draconic cry. Because I can only do this 3 times. And then first Eldritch Blast. Roll with advantage. That's a 16, yes.
A 16
the
is what
second
you...
one.
Yeah, actually, sorry, 15 is what you needed, so that totally hits.
Then a 25.
Perfect.
So first up, that is 9 damage, and then 11 damage.
How do you
Then
do this?
It's time. Yes. First, I glare at both Lemon Blossom and the ghost, like, okay, Lemon Blossom, you were kind of useful.
Ghost, you were cut
Ghost,
off.
you were not. I'm giving this spell a 2 out of 5 right now. That's a lie. I actually really like this spell. It just didn't do me well today. And then, just like, just a huge power up, like combine both into one, then fire it off, and then just all these vines go everywhere, and like splatter.
Yeah. Make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh boy. Okay.
And Chris, make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Okey-dokey.
That's a 13.
Okay.
I'll make one for Lemon Blossom too.
Nice.
Lemon Blossom got a 20.
So as plant goop that's just like reeking of burnt and overcooked spinach flies everywhere, Lemon Zest, you see it coming, you dodge out of the way. Chris, without Lemon Zest in the way, even though you're shorter, you're just like, oh yeah, and you move out of the way, and Aster, you're just like covered in goop. It's all natural goop though, right?
It's good for your hair.
And you just kind of look down, there's like dripping bits of vine and sap and like the little like goopy insides of whatever this thing was, and you can see that Asheron is also just covered in whatever this was. What do you do?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, go over to Aster and then and try and pick her up, or carry her out of the room so the rest of us can,
she's able to
see
like
her.
very weakly like kind of move with you.
Okay.
She seems to, you can see like deep bruising where this thing had like crushed her. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'll pull her out into the hallway where we can kind of like congregate over her, and
Oh,
like, what was that? That was crazy. Oh my gosh. And maybe attempt like a cure wounds
Okay, yeah.
on her.
Go
Lay
ahead
hands and cure wounds and just see how that goes.
go ahead. 8, perfect.
That's better than 2. It's much better.
Oh, sorry, it's 5. And then if you did you roll it at or did you do it at second level Is that why it's from?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
So 13. Yeah, nice.
Okay.
So she goes from 2 hit points to 15 hit points.
Nice.
Some of
And
the
then I'm
bruising
gonna
kind of
try-
fades away,
yeah.
but she still just kind of looks beat up, and she's just kind of gasping for air, looking around. I don't know what that was, but I don't
intense.
recommend it.
I'm gonna take some of the slime. Seeing that she's fine, I'm just gonna start taking some of the slime and put it in vials,
Sure.
and then that's it.
Just at a quick glance, it looked like you're not really sure where the thing came from, but it probably came in through the window because otherwise you would have heard it or seen it. And you notice as you're kind of like listening, you don't hear that shifting that you heard earlier on the roof any longer, Chris. This was probably part of one of those plants that broke off, came down, and decided to munch on Ashran for dinner. What do you all do for the rest of the evening?
I change Lemon Blossom's shape to be an imp.
Okay.
Because screw it, I'm over dragons right now.
Fair.
And then turn them invisible, and then go sleep.
Okay.
Just grumble like, stupid giant plants. Where did it even come from? No, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to investigate where the hell that thing came from.
Yeah, it seemed like it came through the window. Like you
Okay,
can see...
I'm going to look out the window and see what else is up there. Aren't we on like the 6th floor or something?
No,
I don't know
you're-
why. I think I just made that up.
Yeah, totally made that up.
I don't know how tall
6th
this
being
is.
ground floor? Absolutely.
I don't know why. I just assumed we were super high up.
Yeah, you look around, you can see that there's like all sorts of vines and plants growing around the area, and this just seems to be the case everywhere. And every so often, as you kind of watch for things, you can hear the growth of things moving. But Chris, do you explain that you think this thing was on the roof, or...
I will, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it seems like it was part of the growth from the roof, and it came down through the window. But watching the rest of the plants and everything, you don't see anything similar to this growing. This is my out of coffee face.
Oh no.
All right. Anything else for the evening?
I think Aster's gonna ask everybody if we could stay in the same room tonight, just to make sure everybody's okay. And then, of course, she's gonna like totally pass out because that's a lot of work and you need to rest.
Ashton will like get up. You can hear the creaking of her armor, and she heads back into the main common room and like shuts all of the windows and like looks for ways to like bar them closed. And then she says, "Yes, I'm absolutely okay with that." All right, so after Lemon Blossom pops into their new shape and everyone kind of hunkers down for the evening, you get the benefits of a long rest as the rest of the night passes uneventfully. And it is some hours after dawn when you hear a knock on the door.
Hello,
Yes,
who is
hello.
it?
It's Chova.
Okay, come in.
The door opens and she steps in, but not only is there the half dragon, once again her eyes covered in gauze, but next to her is a halfling wearing similar garments, but you can see whereas the kind of dragon-inspired robes that Cheova is wearing have like iconic symbols of dragonkind. Worked throughout those are leaves and flowers and such on this pink-haired halfling who's also wearing a blindfold. They both step into the room, and Cheova says, "I trust that your evening went well?"
Oh, absolutely not. It absolutely did not. This is the craziest thing. And then Aster's going to go on and on and on and on and tell them about what happened in great detail and ask, what was that?
Cheova gets very upset as you describe all of this, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, my apologies. We thought this had been cleared out. The wildlife, rather the wild flora, is sometimes rather ravenous." And you can see the halfling next to her nodding her head. This is Gefra. She came with me to show Aster around. You said you wanted to see the gardens today, so I was going to have you.
Oh, absolutely.
Gefra is our like head gardener. I apologize so much, and I'm so sorry. I tried to revert your dragon back to its fleshy form, and I've never seen this happen before. Usually when we return them from their statue, it's gone. I'm sorry, your pseudo dragon is gone.
Oh, lemon blossom.
Yes.
Oh no, he's a familiar, and so if I just cast the spell again, they pop up in a new shape. Right now, he's an imp, or she. Right now, she's an imp.
Oh.
And then like the imp
Thanks,
giggles. Yeah. So no, you're good. I didn't know if I should tell you if you knew how the find familiar spell worked.
I
do
not
easier.
have one myself. I'm so glad I was up all night trying to figure out how to explain to you that it had disappeared.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, thank you. I probably should have contacted you or something. I just went through a lot last night.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It
But
makes
you're
you feel
all
better.
okay now.
Yeah. I think so.
We just don't want that to happen again.
Are we everyone?
I mean, completely understandable. It's definitely something we don't often have visitors, and to be honest, I apologize. Yesterday I was rather defensive with you, and she looks at Ashrin, who's just kind of like standing in the corner, not glaring at the situation, but you've been around Ashrin long enough to know that she's being very defensive right now and is just kind of like waiting for something to happen that she can maybe, what's the word I want to use here, react to. And so she's just kind of like glaring at Cheova. Cheova says, we don't get visitors very often, and we have to be very careful with what we say. I feel like my revelations that I gave to you yesterday were maybe not as expected by your group, or all of your group, as maybe I had anticipated because of Tyrannaxis's scroll that he sent with you. I was expecting some doubt, perhaps, but I feel like we maybe got off on the wrong foot. So I do apologize. And I would
like to know what those things are. You know, how do you normally deal with those things? Is this a problem here? It seems like such a nuisance.
Finally, Gefra speaks up, and she's like, "Oh, you wouldn't even begin to understand like how often we have to like take care of the local flora. It's a little walk with me. Come on, let's you wanted to see the gardens. I can explain this as we go.
Absolutely.
She reaches into a pack and she hands you like a what looks like a sweet roll.
I mean, is there enough sweet rolls for everybody?
Oh, Chav has taken them to the dining hall, but I brought food for us because I kind of figured. I actually have a couple mugs of hang on, here is some coffee. She has like a little it's weird because she pulls out this mug and you can see the liquid in it, but when it sloshes around there's like some kind of magic holding it in the mug.
Ooh, this is amazing.
Magic
All right.
mug.
Aster's gonna turn around and everybody is like, are we good for the moment? I'll come find you guys. It'll be fine. I want to learn about this stuff.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna kick rocks or something.
Oh, no, I was going to take you all to the dining hall for breakfast if you are hungry.
Oh yeah, that's a much better use of my time.
If you would like to kick rocks, however, I can find some for you to kick. Is that a thing that kobolds do?
No, it's just a nice way of saying I'll go fuck myself.
Oh, did you want to go fuck yourself?
No, I just...
It's like, is there a room for that?
It's,
Down the
everything
hall,
is very upset. Everything's just very upsetting to me right now. So I'm just...
I understand. It's a euphemism.
Grumbling.
I understand. Sorry,
Yes.
I don't get out that often. There are definitely some things that I've never... Kick rocks, go fuck yourself. Okay. Yes, this way. And she will lead you and Chris and Ashrin to get breakfast while Aster is led by Gefra to investigate the gardens. Let's start with Aster. So Aster, as you head out with Gefra, she is just like, you feel this like almost immediate kinship to her because there is a certain energy that she gives off that is very much like Willow, and she's very excited and she's just like pointing out plants and naming them and telling you how like these we really have to make sure we maintain because they get a little out of control, and that one that's kind of growing on the roof there, every so often a pod will come off of it and it kind of starts moving around trying to eat people and all that, and we thought we had killed it all, but it just keeps coming back. And she begins to lead you around, and in the growing daylight you can see that being led through the various streets and alleys of this fortress town, you see that there are pillars that you had maybe mistaken for buildings when you first came in and couldn't really see them clearly, but a lot of them are actually just decorative pillars that on top of them there are various statues. Like over here there's a series of pillars that has flying horses, and over here there's a knight holding a sword up into the sky, and there are griffins over there, and all of it is just overgrown with plants. There are ivies and various vines and bushes that you wouldn't expect to be growing the way that they are, that are just like taking over everything, and you can see various gardeners working to cut them back. Some of them are like using shears, while some of them are using like fire magic to kind of like burn away at areas. And throughout all of this, Gefra is explaining to you like how the inherent magic of this area has empowered these plants. Like they have pretty much tried to like kill off the plants in certain areas and they come back. It is quite a miracle of nature, but also a giant pain. As
Okay.
Is there anything that you want to know or ask?
I think Aster immediately is just going to be fascinated by everything, because usually she has to deal with like these areas that are sparse and there's hardly any vegetation, and she's digging in like this, trying to find little plants. And so she's like scribbling down and trying to draw pictures and having leaves and like stamping them into her booklet kind of quickly, just trying to get the gist of some of these things. And would immediately start talking about how she reminds her of Willow, her friend, and that Willow would love this place, and if there's any way to send word to her to bring her here, and if they need any help like cutting back the plants, there's just, like, I just love doing it. I could do this all day. This is great.
It seems like so Cheva and I talked, and she seems to think that perhaps even though you are all affiliated the way that you are, that perhaps you have maybe a bit of an open mind to things that maybe your other cohorts don't necessarily have. Not necessarily the entire Cult of the Dragon, but a lot of you are very like, Tiamat, and that's something we're kind of trying to keep out of here. I mean, I think she explained to you, that we have a certain belief here in she who doesn't necessarily exist any longer, but our worship does still create magic here, and so that magic is not only used to keep us safe from the plants, but also, keeps us safe from scrying eyes and such. So magical communication out of here is a little weird. You actually have to leave this air, like this what you see here, and go outside to use it. So yes, it is possible, but it really doesn't necessarily. It's not something we can do right this second.
Okay. Well, it just seems like such a great place, and I don't know, I feel kind of happy here. I mean, we travel a whole bunch, and we've seen a lot of crazy things, and it's just, I'm tired. And I like plants. I'm just a little tired of it all. And I mean, honestly, like, I know some of my friends like the gold part, or like the fun items, but like, we can find that stuff anywhere. Plants you can't find everywhere. I mean, there's different regions, there's different benefits to different kinds of plants. It's just endlessly exciting. So
I mean, if
I
your
don't know.
if your friend Willow is as open to things as you appear to be, then we're always happy to have more here. The invitation would be open to you as well.
That would be awesome. Well, I feel like I guess we eventually have to go anyway. Maybe I can bring Willow back and we can hang out a little bit longer. I don't know. I like it here.
I guess we'll see where your road leads you.
Yeah. Should we meet up with everybody?
So, like, a few hours have definitely passed. So, as she begins walking around, she's like, well, yeah, we'll need to figure out where Chayla took them. I'll ask around. Through all of this, even though she's blindfolded, like, you've definitely not noticed that it has caused her any sort of detriment. Like, she is able to point out things, but you feel like it is when you are within a certain distance of them. You feel like sometimes when she's pointing, like, she's like, yeah, there's a building over there, and she kind of gestures broadly as opposed to like, oh, this flower that's right here. She's very specific. So she definitely has senses that you know she's relying on. And so she kind of like begins heading back towards the dining area to begin asking where everyone is. But let's step back in time as Chris and Lemon Zest are taken, and Ashrin are taken to the dining hall for breakfast. As the group of you are moving, you do see bits of like burned leaves and plants being cleared out, as they also are there appears to be like a group of these cultists that their job is to make sure the plants don't overrun the area, and so already they're at work removing bits of overgrown vines and plants that are kind of reaching out for you. You know, you can see them run over with shears and begin snipping them away. And not far from where you are, or where you had slept last night, you can see a large building that people are moving in and out of, and from that you can just smell the smell of cooking meats, and you can hear the sounds of people kind of not revelry, but that morning chatter going on as you step in. As you look around, you can see pretty much everyone here is wearing robes that are similar. Some are a little different, much like Gefra's were. Seems to mark these gardeners. Others are wearing more draconic things, and others are a little more plain-clothed. But the plain-clothed ones seem to have the most weaponry. They all seem to be enjoying their breakfasts blindfolded, but unhindered by that. What do you do?
Hey, Chris, do you think they can actually see what they're eating?
I don't know. Should we ask them?
Yes. Hey, all of you, can you actually see what you're eating?
Some of them turn their heads towards you, more in like a way that they're listening to your voice as opposed to looking at you. Some of them grin and laugh. You can see there are humans, there are some elves, there are more half-dragons and dragonborn. Only a handful of like the shorter species. There's like a dwarf over there, and he's just like very intent on his coffee, and you can see some of them smile at you, and one kind of a human fellow that's nearby says, seeing is an overrated sense. We really enjoy partaking in the other senses, but we have an idea of where things are, yes.
Okay. Leans over to Chris. Okay, that answers that question. I have a question about Dragonborn in this world, or in Faerun, or just this campaign, I guess, because I know in some places, universes, that Dragonborn are created. Like a dragon can just boop turn you into a Dragonborn.
Yeah.
Is that a thing here?
So if you want to know about Forgotten Realms Dragonborn and the one singular location that they came from, good luck, because it is a gigantic pile of
okay.
What's the word? When information contradicts itself. It's a lot of contradictory information. There are certain novels, for example, that very much say that they came from Abir, which is the other world that was like split off from Toril. That's the one that I've always used for my own campaigns. However, there are also, yes, it is absolutely possible for very powerful, like dragon gods to just turn entire peoples into Dragonborn. Yeah, that's the thing.
Cool. All right, because Lemon said, I think I mentioned this a few sessions ago, but like Lemon's asked, like very secretly, like along with only being in it for his inheritance, he also secretly wants Tiamat to turn him into a Dragonborn because he's tired. He doesn't want to be a small guy.
So let's do this for this campaign. Let's say that if you see a Dragonborn that is very specifically a color, like a black Dragonborn or a white Dragonborn or a red Dragonborn, those are created on Toril Dragonborn that were like raised. They were gifted by other deities to be as such, and then had children and blah 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 blah. So like, it is possible that they are born dragonborn. If you see one that is not a specific color, it is like a variety of colors, or like kind of modeled or whatever. That's going to be an Abir dragonborn. They were born in a different dimension essentially, and then when the spell plague happened and Abir and Toril like collided and somewhat reabsorbed into one another, they were freed from their world and now live here. So there will be both.
Okay. Yeah, sorry for derailing.
No, that's
Yeah.
lore is good to like when you have a goal like that. Knowing that kind of lore is good, and I think like you would know that. You would know that there are. I feel like Tiamat's Dragonborn have a higher ranking within the Cult of the Dragon than the Abir Dragonborn. So if you see any of the chromatic Dragonborn, as far as the way that they are viewed by Tiamat, they're cooler than the other ones.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that other dragons can't do the same thing. Like Bahamut might be able to turn you into a silver dragonborn, or this Zaminet might be able to turn you into a other chromatic. You're not really sure what all the colors of this other dragon goddess are yet.
Excellent. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So are you getting breakfast?
Yeah. Nom,
as
nom,
you
nom.
as you sit down, like Ashrin just goes over and like picks up a plate, starts heaping eggs and what looks like probably ham, and you notice she does grab a couple of greens, but then she puts them back, like she kind of shudders and puts like the little bit of like vegetable matter back. She's like, no, and she grabs a chunk of bread and goes over and sits down. She sits down by herself and very like candidly eyes Cheova as she moves away from the group, like, leave me alone. It just goes over and sits. Cheova sighs. If you would like to, I can answer any questions.
I mean, I feel like we're all just kind of taking it all in. We'll probably have lots of questions.
Aster's still wandering
Out there.
around. This
Okay.
is hours
Yeah.
before you stopped. So currently
Okay.
it's just Chris and Lemon Zest.
Yeah, I don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kind of stewing currently. Just thinking lots of thoughts and wondering how I can break this contract without pissing off Tiamat. And
Yes, interesting.
No. yeah,
If you don't mind, and she kind of, I hear a kitty.
Kitty. Yeah. Oh.
If you don't mind me saying, I feel like maybe you're not all satisfied with your lives.
No, I'm not. I don't know. Chris, you steal things. That just feels like all you really want from life. I don't know. We've never had like a sit down discussion about this. But I feel a little unfulfilled.
And what is it that brought you to be where you are, into the Cult of the Dragon?
Family, inheritance.
I see. And yourself? And she looks at Chris.
Just stealing stuff.
Oh, fair. Your friend Ashton seems to be quite the believer in Tiamat, and I feel like this information I've brought her is problematic. We
Yeah.
don't necessarily want rumors of our existence to go beyond these walls. Tyrannaxis sent you here to I think maybe Tyrannaxis had an idea of who you were that I don't necessarily yet have. He wouldn't have sent an obvious threat to our walls, but yet, and again, she glances over at Ashran, and yet here you are. So, again, I don't want to assume things like I did yesterday and perhaps get off on the wrong foot, but without you wanting to stay here, I'm assuming one day you will want to leave.
Yeah.
And what does that look like for you?
Lemon Zest just imagines something very romantic.
I guess what I'm asking here is, if we were to be able to help you to free yourselves of the choices you've made and the contrast.
To release my inhibitions.
Not so much your inhibitions, but to free your inhibitions, to be free of that which you've contracted yourself to.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in helping us in return?
Helping in
Okay, you've got
what
my
way?
ear.
What was that, Chris?
I said helping in what way?
Well, currently we only have rumor to guide us as far as your group's end goal. There is much talk amongst various factions of dragons that the cult of the dragon, and it's such a misnomer, isn't it? Like, the cult of the dragon. There are so many dragons, so many various viewpoints, and yet it's all being coalesced into Tiamat for you. But what if you chose something else? What if in your endeavors you were to work towards a different outcome than the return of, I apologize when I say this, but a rather mad god, or goddess in this case?
Wait, repeat that? That did not sink into my brain.
What if there was another option for you and your future?
I'm listening.
What we've gathered is that your group, your cult, is trying to bring back Tiamat, trying to free her from Avernus. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely troublesome, and while I'm not really sure what people like us can expect from that, I can assume that the world at large would suffer greatly from the return of the dragon goddess to the material plane. And what if I were to tell you that the same thing that you're doing, the same endeavor that you're trying to currently carry out at the Well of Dragons, could be altered to bring about a better outcome?
Okay.
What would that be worth your help to do?
don't know, Chris, what are your thoughts?
Well, as long as I'm, collecting treasure along the way, I'm fine with anything.
I think Chris secretly wants to be a dragon.
Don't we all?
Or a dragonborn. I might need to sit and think about that.
Yes, please take your time.
Because I don't want to jump from like one thing to the next. I don't want this to be like a rebound or anything. I just want to.
I broke up with Tiamat. I just rebounded right as I'm in it.
Yeah.
Not unhealthy.
I mean, I'd really like to be a builder again. Tinker, etc.
Oh, were you one of those that works with your hands and makes things?
Yeah, yeah.
Automated,
Mm-hmm.
I believe the word
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
I mean, being a warlock's kind of cool too, I guess, but that was where my real love was.
Well, think about it. If there are things we can offer you that would make you happier in your existence, and ways to free you from the contracts you have agreed to with your goddess, there is something that we would like from you in return as well.
Okay.
And it would include you just carrying on with what you're already doing for the most part. The treasure that you have all accumulated must reach the Well of Dragons for the ritual to occur, and so in safeguarding that and making sure that it does that is still important. And if you were to make some alterations to the ritual,
Mm-hmm.
you could leave Tiamat where she is and break your contracts, be free of her, and return to us that which we hold dear.
Okay, but the problem is that Tiamat can keep an eye on us super easily.
Yes, your pact,
And like
particularly.
Yeah.
I didn't want to jump to any conclusions, but I did have conversations, or I started conversations last evening with other learned folk in the area that might have answers to help you. I don't know if we can nullify it, but we can probably dampen it for you.
Okay.
But we'll have to see what they came up with after I left them last night.
Oh, okay.
Oh, please, I apologize. Your food is getting cold. Your coffee is probably chilled. Here, let me. And she sticks her finger in your coffee and it begins to steam again.
Okay.
Please enjoy breakfast, and I will find you afterwards. She gets up, and there's like this long eye contact moment between her and Ashrin. And then she straightens her robes. And by eye contact, I mean she stares through her blindfold at Ashrin. It's very obvious. And then she leaves the room. There is worm conversation going on all around you. Ashrin actually gets up and comes over and sits next to all of you again, now that Cheova has left. What was that about?
I'll tell you later.
The bacon's good, by the way. Nom, nom, nom. She continues eating.
Nom, 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 nom.
As the three of you dine for breakfast and Aster is currently walking around enjoying the various magical plants that grow here, we're going to wrap it up there so that hopefully next episode Janelle can return and I don't have to make weird decisions for her character that I feel uncomfortable making.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for playing today. It's good to see you in the new year. And is there anything that you have coming up in the near future that you want to shout out or direct people towards?
So tonight on Records of the Realms will be part 3 of our Good Society miniseries. I am playing the Marquise Cecily Leonardo de Lorange, and she has a great personality.
Great person.
Friday, she has huge tracts of land. And on Friday, on Entropy Emporium, we're playing Weird Wilds War, where I am playing Lemon Sour, who is a robot who's currently learning about things like friendship and gender identity.
Oh.
Yeah, and then that's it until next week.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm taking it easy this month.
Love it. Anybody else have stuff they want to share? All right, well, we are going to raid over to Dork Tales. Please hang out while we do so. Also, go follow all of these fabulous people on their socials, and go over and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to hit our 500 follower mark, and you can catch the playlist for this show and all of the other shows that we do here. This Friday, we're doing a one-shot, or not a one-shot, we're doing a session 0 for a one-shot of Tales of the Valiant, which is Kobold Press's 5e adjacent minus the OGL stuff system. I should be hired to be their PR person.
Yeah.
We're doing session 0 for a one shot of that, which will be on the 17th. So tune in if you like to watch people make their characters. And then on Sunday, we have episode 3 of Shadow Dark Wanderings into the Dark, where I get to play my silly tree witch, literally a tree person that is a witch, tree witch, and all of the other shenanigans that go on during that series, because everyone on there is chaos. Everyone. It's fantastic. So hang out while we raid, and we will see you all next Wednesday for the next episode of For the Hoard of the Dragon Queen. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.